From the get-go, the students had never seen such audacity. On the new teacher's first day, they brazenly suggested skipping class and didn't even wait for a response before standing up and walking out. This teacher had a notorious reputation for being violent. Once, just because someone chuckled during his lecture, he hurled a spiked shoe at their face. Yet this time he held back his temper. After numerous violent teaching incidents, his reputation was tarnished beyond repair in the industry, leaving him no choice but to take a position at this remote and impoverished school in McFarland. Here, as long as he avoided any trouble, he could comfortably retire. But one day on his way home from school, his perspective changed when he noticed Thomas, a student from his class, running incredibly fast. He didn't approach the boy but instead observed from his car, quietly following. He discovered that not only was Thomas fast, but his endurance was remarkable too, covering a distance of 1 mile in just under 5 minutes. Curious, he asked Thomas how he managed this feat. Thomas explained that he had to run home after school every day to help out, as his family didn't own a car. Over time, he just got used to it. Moreover, he mentioned that this was nothing to boast about, since most kids here could run at that pace. To White, the teacher, Thomas seemed like a hidden gem. With such a performance, he could easily rank in the top 10 in the weekly cross-country championships. If he could form a cross-country team at the school and achieve some level of success, it could be his ticket back to the city. The next day, he shared his idea with the principal, who was initially uninterested. However, when White mentioned the substantial prize money at the state championship, the principal immediately agreed. Next was selecting the team members. White bought 4 bottles of chilled soda and announced that the first 4 to finish would get them. Given the poverty in the area, soda was an irresistible lure. To get their hands on it, each child ran like the wind. Soon, White had assembled a 7-member team. During training, he realized they didn't even have proper shoes. After some time training, they faced their first invitational race. To motivate them, White dug into his own pockets to buy them clothes and shoes. Before the race even began, they faced mockery from their competitors. "You're here for the cross-country race? Don't you only run when chased by the police?" This taunt fueled a fire in the team, who were determined to prove their worth on the track. They started the race at a breakneck pace, forgetting the most crucial aspect of long-distance running, pacing their energy. Starting too fast meant they'd likely struggle to keep up later. At a steep uphill stretch, they were all overtaken, finishing last. The team was disheartened, but White didn't blame them. Instead, he took all the responsibility, admitting his lack of preparation for the challenges of a cross-country race, unaware of the uphill and downhill sections. Since McFarland had no hills, they practiced on piles of grain, simulating hill runs. Despite the grueling nature of the training, their improvement was evident. Soon, they faced a competitive match against a highly ranked opponent. Learning from their previous experience, they remained calm, conserving their energy instead of sprinting, and closely followed their competitors. In the final stretch, Thomas suddenly picked up the pace, overtaking the lead just before the finish line, followed by his teammates who also managed to surpass their rivals, securing a win. However, the team faced a setback during their next training session when 3 members were absent due to harvest season commitments. White approached their parents, who likened his training to a luxury, like a television, not essential to their lives. For every hour spent training, they lost an hour of labor. White left without further discussion. The next day, White joined the children in the fields, offering his help to allow them time for both work and training. Unaccustomed to farm work, he was overwhelmed by the physical demands, barely lasting half a day. Despite the pain, White persisted, adjusting the training schedule to accommodate the children's work commitments. His dedication won over the students and their families, gradually changing their attitudes. A teacher approached White, moved by the essays written by the children about their experiences, indicating a profound change within them.
We fly like blackbirds through the orange groves, floating on a warm wind. When we run, we own the earth. The land is ours. We speak the birds' language, not immigrants no more. Not stupid Mexicans. When we run, our spirits fly. We speak to the gods. When we run, we are the gods.
As they continued their monotonous daily training, White became one with the team. Their next crucial race could potentially alter their destinies by qualifying them for significant opportunities. The children eagerly shared the news with their families, receiving mixed reactions of support and opposition.
Colegio. Sí. ¿Sabes qué? Saca la cara de esos libros. Van a iluminar tus ojos. Nadie necesita un libro de la cara.
By now, the team had gained local fame. On the day of the race, the town's children came out to support them, an honor they had never experienced before. White encouraged them, saying that finishing in the top 4 would mean advancement. Facing the daunting hills, White reassured them, emphasizing that endurance would determine the victor. He expressed his faith in them over any other competitor, choosing to believe in their strength and resilience. Thomas, faced with mockery from opponents, responded not with anger but with a confident smile. As the starting gun fired, the race began. With extensive training behind them, they had become adept at handling various terrains, and climbing hills had turned into one of their strengths. They left their opponents behind during the uphill sections, with Thomas maintaining a lead. Perhaps influenced by a conversation with his father the previous night, he stumbled near the finish line. Despite quickly getting back up and pushing forward, he couldn't secure first place. The coach couldn't help but shake his head, worried about their chances of advancing as the other competitors were close behind. The teams that successfully advanced were jubilant, and tension began to rise among White's team. He urged them to stay calm. Fortunately, they clinched the 4th spot, the last qualifying position.
Look at that. Look at that. You did it.
To celebrate their victory, White planned to take them somewhere they had never been before. He brought the kids to a scenic spot, but the money he had barely covered half the cost. He pleaded with the security guard for a discount, explaining that they were from McFarland and had just won a race, and the kids had never seen the ocean before. The guard, moved by the innocence of the kids in the car, made a decision.
Keep it. Sure. Keep it.
All team members came from impoverished families and had never left their small town. The sight of the vast, majestic ocean left them utterly astonished, standing motionless in awe.
Go on. Get in there.
Eventually, they sprang into action, rushing towards the sea like wild horses freed from their reins. They frolicked in the water, laughing and celebrating their hard-earned victory. When news of their victory reached the town, they became local celebrities, and soon they faced the final championship race. Excitement was high among the team members, and the entire town came out to see them off. All local shops closed for a day, and a large convoy escorted them. White motivated them, highlighting their unique resilience. Unlike their competitors, they balanced school with farm work and rigorous training. He declared them superheroes, enduring hardships to seize this moment and deserving of honor. McFarland, once the butt of jokes, had transformed. Together, they chanted their rallying cry.
Uno, dos, tres.
As the race commenced, perhaps too eager to win, River began with a burst of speed but soon faltered, overtaken by other runners. With team scores at stake, the others had to compensate for his slowdown. In the final stretch, opponents accelerated, forcing Thomas to sprint with all his might, managing to overtake them at the last moment. The rest of the team followed suit, but River was noticeably slower than his usual pace, putting their victory in doubt. Then, unexpectedly, a team member who usually lagged in training surged forward. He sprinted and ultimately secured the 5th place. The coach, thrilled, patted him on the back.
Hey, where'd you come from, Diaz? Huh? Where'd you come from? From McFarland, coach.
With the scores closely contested, the judges took extra time to confirm the results before making the announcement.
California State cross-country champion team is McFarland.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this.